for the welfare of the society and the just government of the people. We beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants, whom you've been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in this county and the Republic of Kenya. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our county and of those whose interest you have committed to our charge. Amen. Honorable Clerk, kindly confirm whether we have the quorum to transact today's business.
Honorable Speaker, there is no quorum.
Honorable members, Standing Order 35-2 states that if there is no quorum present when the chair is taken, at the time appointed for a meeting of the County Assembly, immediately after the saying of the prayer, the Speaker shall order the bell to be rung for 10 minutes. Consequently, I direct the Sergeant at Arms to ring the quorum bell for 10 minutes.
Honorable Speaker, there is quorum.
We can have the order of business from the order paper.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, I wish to welcome you back to the House from the long recess. I note that the recess kept us engaged in a number of activities and has given you an opportunity to interact with your electorates. Honorable members, may I also take this opportunity to commend the members and staff of this assembly for the sterling performance displayed during the County Assembly Sports Association, commonly known as CASA, games and cultural festivals that were held in Nakuru as from 19th to 27th day of August 2023. The various teams performed extremely well and lived to the fact that indeed Nandi County is the source of champions. May I also congratulate the men's handball team who emerged the best, and the athletics team which was second overall best. These results were achieved both through individual commitment and teamwork. I encourage us to maintain the same spirit as we embark in our office duties. Honorable members, my office and clerk will ensure that those participating in the various disciplines receive the necessary support to unleash the great potential in us. Without preempting much on the outcome of the CASA Games, I therefore direct the Committee on Sports, Youth and Talent Development to submit a report to this Honorable House, which will inform our areas of improvements during such events in the future. It is through sports that we can be able to demonstrate our talents, enhance teamwork and unity, above all, maintain a healthy workforce. Honorable members, as we resume our regular sittings, I wish to bring to your attention that a lot awaits us at the committee level. It is high time that we take our position in committees to champion for the realization of devolution with respect to the devolved functions. Cognizant of our oversight mandate and tools available for the Assembly to discharge its mandate, I implore upon yourselves to offer solutions in areas that we experience challenges through expedient agenda setting at the respective committees. Honorable members, realizing the significance of a committee in a legislative setup reminds us of former President of the United States, that is Woodrow Wilson, who once remarked, in quotes, "It is not far from the truth to say that Congress in session is Congress on public exhibition, whilst committee in committee room is Congress at work." I therefore challenge the honorable members that we offer those solutions while at our committee levels. Honorable members, remarkably is the speed at which Nandi County Equitable Development Act 2023 is being implemented, with the Ward Project Implementation Committee having been constituted and the project identification process already done. This House is now set to consider the 2023-2024, the Annual Development Plan, which contains the citizen-centered projects. It is worth noting that the Office of the County Executive Committee member responsible for finance has made public the equitable share of each ward based on the parameters set out under the Act of this House. Honorable members, besides every business in the House lies the ceaseless work of various committees that deserve nuanced perusal if we are to understand how a high platform of inclusive dialogue in the County Assembly is brought to life. Therefore, timely consideration of House business demands timely consideration of House business demands dedication of both the leadership and the entire membership of the House. Therefore, as we embark on the last part of the session and on the performance of such important trust bestowed upon us by the people of Nandi, I call upon us to seize the opportunity and deliver on the agenda of the House at all times during the life of this Assembly. Lastly, honorable members, in the spirit of oversight, it is highly recommended for the various committees to conduct field visits and establish the true status of the projects under their corresponding executive departments vis-a-vis the absorption rate of the budgeted money, which is reflected by the Control of Budget in its published quarterly reports. Monitoring and evaluation, therefore, will be able to provide a unique opportunity for the members to advance the interests of the public and ensure that there is timely completion of the projects through the reports that will be generated by the respective committees. As a result of monitoring and evaluation, therefore, the House will have the opportunity to collectively ventilate and proclaim their input before the same is forwarded to the executive for action. Finally, may I wish you all success, individually and collectively as members of the Nandi County Assembly throughout the part of the session. Thank you. Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Yes, Honorable Bett, Honorable Member from Kapchorwa.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I have 2 notices that I beg to table. One is a notice on motion on procurement of Murram for construction of roads in Nandi. Aware that Article 227 of the Constitution of Kenya requires that the public procurement be carried out in a system that is fair equitable, transparent, competitive, and cost-effective. Further aware that the Constitution obligates the county government to plan, construct, and maintain county roads. Noting that the county government acquires Murram from private landowners, concerned that lack of clear and precise binding contractual agreement between private landowners who are Murram suppliers and the county government has negatively affected Murramming of roads at the ward level. Realizing that Murram suppliers are also contesting pending bills with county government, considering Article 227 of the Constitution requires public procurement to be set up in a manner that is fair, equitable, transparent, competitive, and cost-effective, concerned that failure to follow the laid-down procurement constitutional demands on the acquisition of Murram will give rise to disputes between the Murram suppliers and the county government, whose net effects of roads in some wards, whose net effects negatively affect the public, leading to non-operationalization of the Murramming of roads in some wards. This House, therefore, resolved that the county executive, through the Department of Roads and Infrastructure, to procure Murram in accordance with the Article 227 of the Constitution, in a manner that is fair, equitable, transparent, and competitive, and cost-effective, and the contractual obligation arising from the complete tendering process of Murram be made public. Mr. Speaker, sir, I also give notice of a motion on enhancing the administrative measures on management of county roads. Aware that Section 5 of Part 2 of the 4th Schedule to the Constitution of Kenya, 2010, bestowed the county government with the functions of county transport, which includes county roads and county public transport. Further aware that in realization of this function, the county of Nandi acquired road machinery in order to realize the fulfillment of this mandate. Realizing that arising from the acquisition of the county road machinery, there has not been fully accountable administrative support system to aid full operationalization of the county roads machinery to effectively function and calm the requisite roads works concern. That lack of proper administrative systems on issues including, but not limited to, the supply of fuel, servicing of road machinery, payment of allowances to the attached staff, training of technical staff on emerging issues, location of the carriage at the sub-county level, and skewed performance appraisals on the construction of the roads per ward. Cognizant that if no efficient administrative system is in place to ensure that the county roads machinery is fully utilized for the benefit of the people, so that the people of Nandi will realize value for money budgeted for the construction of the roads, this House resolves that the County Executive Committee member responsible for roads and infrastructure to, within the next 2 months, put in place and share with the County Assembly deliberate administrative systems to address the shortcomings arising from the management of the county roads machinery, occasioned by inefficiency in human resource, lack of accountability for the management of roads machinery, and management of fuel. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Well, having moved that notices, next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Yes, Honorable Majority Whip, Honorable Keter from Chemundu Kapngetuny.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I stand to request for statement on the status of bursary distribution. Pursuant to Standing Order number 45-2, C1, and standing to seek a statement from the Chairperson of Education and Vocational Training relating dispatchment of bursary during FY 2022-2023. Honorable Speaker, in the financial year 2022-2023, the County Assembly allocated a total of 60 million for bursary. Honorable Speaker, it is in expectation that upon award of bursary to the beneficiary department, of Education is bound to distribute the funds to the respective institution without undue delays, owing to the complaints that have arisen. The chairperson in charge of education to respond to this House with the following. Why did some beneficiaries are still why beneficiaries are still not receiving funds in the financial year 2022-2023 as allocated? In this response, the chairperson to supply the following. 1. Complete list of beneficiaries of identified beneficiaries. 2. List of beneficiaries whose funds have not been disbursed. 3. The bank statement for the NASEF account for the period of 2022-2023. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Majority Whip. Therefore, pursuant to Standing Order number 45, I direct the chairperson on education and vocational training to do a response to that particular statement. Is the honorable member present in the chamber? In the absence, I note that the vice chairperson is present, and we can have that response in 7 days, period.
1 week time.
Honorable Matata Benjamin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I rise to stick a statement on the status of vocational training centers, and pursuant to Standing Order 45-2C, I stand to stick a statement from the chairperson, Education and Vocational Training, on the status of vocational training centers across the county. Honorable Speaker, the chairperson of Education and Vocational Training to respond to this House on the following. 1. The status of vocational training centers across the county. 2. To furnish this House with a monitoring and evaluation report on the recently launched training centers. 3. How much money was allocated for equipping of VCTs and how much has been utilized? And finally, what plans does the department have on the hiring of VCT tutors? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Also, that particular statement is directed to the chairperson, Education and Vocational Training, and in the absence of the chairperson, the vice chairperson, will you wish to respond to this statement immediately?
No, Mr. Speaker, sir, it is in order that I request that it will be prudent to combine with the one which have been given in the first place. It will be 1 week time.
Well, therefore, you require to submit a response to the statement sought within 7 days. That is on the status of vocational training centers across the county, monitoring and evaluation report on the recently launched vocational training centers, how much was allocated to equipping of the VTCs, and how much has been utilized, and finally, what plans does the department have on the hiring of VTCs tutors?
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Tarbey.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise pursuant to Standing Order number 44 and number 45, Mr. Speaker.
Pardon?
I rise pursuant to Standing Order number 44 and 45. That is the statement hour.
Well,
Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to this order because you have just given directives, Mr. Speaker, concerning the statement sought. And Mr. Speaker, I personally stood sometimes back to seek statement from my chairman, the chairman for administration, Honorable Matata, Mr. Speaker. and I saw the statement. I also made a follow-up statement on the same, Mr. Speaker, but up to now, Mr. Speaker, I think it's almost over 2 months, Mr. Speaker, and my statement has not been answered, Mr. So, pursuant to your directive, Mr. Speaker, I wonder what happens if a member is not able to submit or reply to a statement, because, Mr. Speaker, we are demeaning this house because members are seeking statements, but if those statements, Mr. Speaker, are not answered, Mr. Speaker, I wonder what happened. That's the point of order I'm raising, Mr. Speaker. And now that the member is present, Mr. Speaker, I don't know if he's in position to reply to my statement. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Tarbey, we've heard your submission, and I'll be able to deliver a ruling on the same in the due course. Honorable Songok, Bridget.
Thank you, Speaker. I'm here to stand to seek a statement on the status of payment on pending bills and work in process. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 45-2C, I stand to seek the statement from the Chair of Finance Committee on the status of payment of pending bills and work in progress. Honorable Speaker, the chairperson should give us an account of 1, all pending bills to date, all work in progress, including flagship projects to date, status of payment of all development projects. Honorable Speaker, the chair should attach all payment schedules as per each and every disbursement. Thank you.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
What is it, Honorable Mosbey?
Mr. Speaker, I'm seeking to be informed. I realize that quite a number of statements are being sought. For some, we have copies of the same statements being sought, but I realize that 2 members, Honorable Matata and Honorable Bridget, have sought statements whose copies we don't have. What is why the discrepancy, Mr. Speaker?
Honorable Mosbey, are you imputing that you don't have a copy of the said statement being sought?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Clerk. Honorable Mosbey, I'm reliably informed that the same is in the website. It is in soft. And we can also have hard copies will be supplied to you during this plenary sitting. Honorable members, further pursuant to Standing Order 45A1, the chairperson implementation. Is it finance? Because the statement that I'm having is making reference to the implementation committee on the status of pending bills and work in progress. Is that the statement? Yeah. Therefore, the chairperson implementation committee to make a response. And in that particular response, he's been asked to give an account of all the pending bills to date, all work in progress, including flagship projects to date, and status of payment of all development projects. Chairperson implementation, is he present in the chambers? The vice chairperson. Therefore, in the absence of the chairperson, I direct that a response be furnished to this House within 14 days. Yes. Yes, Honorable Ezra Rotich.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I rise, Mr. Speaker, to request for a statement in the following subject. A status of employment of contract staff and confirmation of their form into permanent and pensionable. Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order number 45-2C, I stand to seek a statement from the chairperson on administration and public service relating to the status of contract staff whose contract lapsed in February 2023. Honorable Speaker, the County Public Service Board in the year 2023 commenced a staff audit occasioned by the expiry of staff contracts. The staff audit was taking place at Kaimosi FTC, and Mr. Speaker, the Nandi County Public Service Board were to undertake the following administrative actions at the conclusion of the said audit. Number one, it was to employ the successful staff either on permanent and pensionable or in contract terms. Number two, Mr. Speaker, that those who will be employed into permanent and pensionable terms were to be given priority to officers who had served on contract basis as of 31st December 2018. Number three, Mr. Speaker, that no officer who was contracted in the year 2019 will be considered for employment until further notice. Honorable Speaker, the County Public Service Board is bound to promote in the County Public Service the values, the principle, as stipulated under Article number 10 and 232 of the Constitution. Honorable Speaker, to date, the state of the staff who were contracted by the county government and whose contract terms lapsed as of February 2023 have not been made public. Those who have not been recontracted and or employed into permanent terms are in distress and are living in difficult economic moments, considering that they still report to duty without pay since February 2023. In light of the above, Mr. Speaker, the chairperson to provide the following information to the House. One, Mr. Speaker, what was the total number of staff whose contract ended as of February 2023? Number two, Mr. Speaker, the chairperson also, Mr. Speaker, is to provide the following. What was the total number of contract staff employed as of 31st October 2018? Number three, Mr. Speaker, arising from the staff audit, how many staff were employed into permanent and pensionable terms, and how many were employed in contract terms? There are particulars to be provided. Number four, Mr. Speaker, the particulars of staff who have not been employed despite the fact that they served as of 2018 and reasons for not employing. Number five, Mr. Speaker, is the employment process still on, and if so, when will it end? Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I seek that statement, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Matata, are you able to respond to that immediately?
Okay, Honorable Speaker, I'm not in a position to respond to the statement sought immediately, but it is an issue that it has been a thorn in the flesh, but through my committee and with the concerned body, I promise to deliver the statement in the next 7 days. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Okay, therefore, Honorable Matata, you directed to file a response to this Honorable House within 7 days on the matters as sought in the statement. Next order.
Order number 8, adjournment.
Honorable members, there being no any other prayer on the order of business today, the House stands adjourned till tomorrow 9:30 a.m.